right, so we were sent an early copy of Horror in the High Desert 4. We were big fans of the first movie.
Yeah.
And that led us to do a review, of course. And Dutch, who is the writer-director of these, reached out, was very thankful and cool, and him and I have stayed in contact through the making of all of these at this point. And so I kind of have, we have, first come kind of, or first, what?
First dibs.
First dibs, there you go. on these things. So we're lucky in that way.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes. So, Horror in the High Desert 4. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm just going to get this out of the way. So we can just rip the Band-Aid off. I definitely have liked the series. And
yeah.
I think that if you are a fan of this series and you've liked the other films, you absolutely should check this out for yourself and support it. These are, indie films that really only continue to get made, and the filmmakers only make back their money if people support them.
And all of these films, the story is being told over the course of multiple films.
Yeah.
So you do need to see it in order to, I feel like, watch the next film and flow into it.
And, okay, what I was going to allude to here is that, unfortunately, I was not a fan of this one like I was the other ones. And I was sitting there trying to figure out why. What was making me not as big of a fan of this one as the previous films, because I feel like those work to varying degrees.
Yeah.
So, this is for my taste, and tell me how you feel about this. I don't want to speak for both of us on this, but this is definitely how I felt after I thought about it, and I was like, I think I cracked the code on this. So one of the things that I really love about found footage, mockumentary style filmmaking is the thing we talk about all the time, is the realism of it. And one of the best things about the realism is getting to know characters that feel like real characters. I feel like I'm genuinely hanging out with Heather Donahue or whoever, right? I feel like I'm watching real footage of a person who actually exists, and I get to know who they are. The problem with this one for me was that our main character who's doing the filming in this movie, we're mostly getting the exposition of his story on the outside from the mockumentary or documentary, in this case, filmmakers that are putting together the story for us and then giving us the snippets of the tape that they found. The character as it exists on the footage that we're watching, for the story that's being told, this mostly is just a person kind of filming, and we get almost no narration from him at all. He doesn't really speak, but maybe 10 words in the entirety of the film through his filming. We do get words from the documentary people who are covering the story of the footage that they found, which is his footage. Are you following me? But because we never see the guy's face, he never films himself, he doesn't really talk almost ever, there's no characterization there. And so I'm never feeling anything while watching his footage, right? I don't have a connection to the person behind the camera. And that's all that matters to me. I have to care about who's filming it, otherwise he becomes a tripod. And I don't give a shit if someone knocks over a tripod and cuts its head off, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what happens to this person. I'm saying just in general with horror films, I have to care about the character. If the character becomes a tripod, it's an inanimate object to me. I don't have any feeling towards it. And I think that's where this one kind of lost its way, because the one thing I will give Dutch credit for is that he's not really a linear path filmmaker in the sense of like, okay, in part one, it's, these events up till this point. Part two is going to go from here
Yeah.
and move to here, and it's going to be the next logical, step in the story of this character from the previous movie. He likes to take things that are new and weave them
Yeah.
into other stories that are being told. These are like mostly anthology style films. We're getting a story here that's about this character, then the next movie, the Minerva movie, is about this character, the Firewatch movie is about this character, and there's like, because it's an anthology series about horror in the high desert, and I think that that's something people don't like.
There are definite connections between the films
Yes.
and between what's happening. So, it's not, they're not like, they're not standalone or anything like that.
There's connective tissue.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think, well, the documentary, like, makers in this, like, everybody that's being interviewed, all of them are great. That's definitely been something throughout the films that I know we both have liked, is that the people talking about the cases are all very natural and, like, just good actors, and so that stays the same here. So there's no problem for me with any of their performances or anything. I also do want to say that there's a few, and this is kind of the same from other films too, but these really amazing, like, just nature shots, like shots of the desert and of the natural landscape that just are really crisp and they look great. So that, that stuff is good. But yeah, the main character in this, and there is very small amounts of dialogue and, like, reaction sounds and stuff, but there was so many moments of just nothing from this character, no reaction to something that was happening, no anything. And some of that might be like they wouldn't want to say something because then somebody could hear them, or something like that, which I understand, but I think that it would have helped to have the character react a little bit more, to have a better connection to that character, because yeah, I mean, like, this is the case with almost any movie, but maybe especially with found footage films, where you are very much put into the role of the person behind the camera, and it's like if you were filming something and something crazy is happening, like, that natural human reaction to stuff. And I think that there was also maybe a bit of a missed opportunity with having that character, like, talk more, because I think we could have gotten their perspective on, like, why they were doing what they were doing, what they thought was going on, any of that. And you could still keep the mystery in place, like, because there is a lot of mystery in these films, and this one probably has, like, the most. Because the other part that I had a problem with this film is that I was kind of confused on the motivation of the main character, for sure, and then also of, like, this other entity that's involved in the film. And I know that there's always a chance that there's going to be more story or, something to explain it. But as far as this goes, I was like, I'm lost as to what's happening with that. Like, why they're involved, what they're exactly wanting, like, why they're wanting it, And for me, I just had a little bit too many questions, so I was a bit confused throughout the film. So, yeah.
Yeah, and in the previous films, especially in part 1 and part 3, they're done in the mockumentary route, as all I should say all 4 of them are. But I really felt like in 1 and 3, where we're doing this kind of, like, missing persons case, and there's, like, a mystery surrounding that and those characters, I didn't really connect to the mystery and how it was set up in this. There was something missing there where I was just, like, not invested. There was no intrigue to me, where, like, the reveal of, oh, and then this happened, it's dun dun dun, and you're like, oh shit, where does that go? Oh wow, that really plays into, like, my intrigue and interest of, like, how, where's this gonna go, or what's that gonna do? I honestly I kept kind of getting lost in it, because I was like, I don't really know what they're covering. And that was a problem for me too.
There was definitely a few moments of that, like, the documentary, people being like, and you'll never believe what happened next, or like, and then just look at this footage, and the footage is nothing wrong with this as far as like we see this all the time in found footage, but it's like dark shots of the woods, and then like last second something moves, but the filmmaker, like the guy filming, like, does like has no times. Reaction. Yeah. There was one that was quite a long stretch of like dark woods where there was something weird happening like on screen that the character was just kind of like jumpy a little, but like no noises were coming out of them, and I'm like, I just don't buy it. No, I think you would be like, whatever, like, you know, you would make some kind of reaction, I feel, and like them not doing that, I was just like, there's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, you're right though. I have no idea what the motivations of our main character even were.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that they find this box and he's leaving behind these notes and he's supposed to be this meticulous person that's like, you know, keeping a record, and it's like, but he doesn't seem to be doing any of that on film.
Well, yeah, because that's what I would expect, is that there's also going to be video and audio like record of like, let me, you know, record, like literally record it, and that part is missing. So it is kind of it's a bummer, because, you know, we did like the other, you know, the first one obviously we were really high on, and like the other two films, I think there's some great stuff like just developing along with the story. So I'm still interested to see like where things are gonna go, if they go somewhere else, obviously. But this one for me was kind of tough to sit through, unfortunately, because I felt confused and kind of bored for most of the movie. And I don't want to feel like that when I'm watching a film. Yeah. And I don't want to say that I feel like that either. Like, obviously, but just being honest, unfortunately.
That's what's tough when you know the filmmaker. That makes it much more complicated when you do these reviews, or when you sit down to watch. You're like, please, 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 I want to like this. And then as it starts to kind of go and fall apart for you, you're like, no, I don't want to tell him I don't like this one. This is so annoying. But I'm not going to lie either, right?
No,
you guys know that. So I apologize, Dutch, but I can only be honest. But if you're somebody who is like, I don't give a shit about characterization, right? Like, or maybe you won't feel that way. Maybe you'll watch this and you'll feel totally different towards this film. You know, I think that if you're a big fan of the previous three, and you're gonna watch it anyway.
Yeah, I think you should watch it anyway.
Absolutely.
Because, like I said, because as you said, there's all this interconnected like tissue of the stories being developed, and I have no doubt that like as the films progress, like, because inevitably, like, you know, as more come out, like, this is going to matter in future installments in some way. Like, there's going to be some callback, there's going to be some, like, you know, this thing.
Are you positive?
I'm not
there's
positive,
going to be another one?
But that just seems to be that, you know, or at least the style that he likes to go for in telling these non-linear stories that are all connected in some way. So,
but don't worry.
Yes.
Dutch, if we ever make a movie, which we plan on doing, we're gonna send it to you.
We're gonna send it to you, and
you can shit
tell
all
us
over it, and I'll take my licks. Yeah. You know, we probably won't be able to make one as good as your previous films. So.
No, obviously the other films are rad. You know, there's a lot of talent. It's just this one didn't work for us. No. So that's our honest review, and we're sticking by it.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know, check it out if you want, and it should be available now by the time you see this. We're not allowed to release this until the movie's out. So if you're watching this,
movie's out.
You can watch it right now.
Yep.
So go check it out on VOD somewhere. I'll leave in the description below where it's going to be, because I don't even know where it's going to be at the moment.
Yeah.
So whenever that might be, it's September 19th, 2025. This could be, you know, in a day from now, or you might be here like, oh my God, this is like 3 years ago. What the hell took so long? Yeah. I have literally no idea when he's going to release this. We did this one review. I think it was the Forest Hills movie.
Yes, it was.
Forest Hills, is that what that was called? The Shelley Duvall movie?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was called.
I think that's what it was called too. That was like months.
We had to shelve that shit for, I think, Hell no.
A year?
It was at least a year.
It
was at least a year. There is still one review we did for a movie, for a found footage film like this, that we recorded the review because he sent it to us early. We recorded the review. I contacted him, and he was like, "Well, don't release it until I tell you to." And I told him like, "Oh, I didn't like the movie," and he was like, "Ah, fuck, I knew it. I figured." And then like he didn't write us back. And
so we've never released it.
We never released it because he never told me if it was out. And honestly, I forgot what movie it was. So like now it might be recorded and uploaded on YouTube. I'd have to look, but there might be a lost Sinister Cinema review that I did years and years ago for a movie.
That's
that
funny.
Just like the director never got back to us. But the Forest one with Shelley Duvall's last movie.
That was a long time.
It was at least a really year before, because he kept being like, "No, you can't release it yet."
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, "Okay, you can release it next week," and then it would get to the last minute, and he'd be like, "No, hold off on it. We're actually going for a bigger distribution. We're trying to this and that."
Yeah.
And I was like, it was like a movie I didn't give two fucks about. So it was like to constantly get updates on a movie that I was like, dude, I don't even care. I don't even want to release this review. I don't even give a shit about this film. So that was one of the funnier ones, because he kept contacting me, and I'm like, dude, I didn't even like this movie. I don't even give a fuck to release this review.
It's like, you don't want my review out.
That's not how I feel about this one, by the way.
No, not at all.
No, because I like Dutch, and I definitely want to promote his film,
yes.
even if I didn't care for it. Word of mouth
is important.
I mean, just seeing my review for it, or our review for it, will be enough for people to be like, "Oh shit, there's another one out. I'm gonna go watch it. Then I'm gonna watch his review." Totally. So just us making a review alone could get hundreds of people to just go rent it.
Yeah.
And then they come and watch it, and you know, they can feel however they want about it, obviously. But that's how a lot of people watch our reviews.
Yeah.
That are subscribers.
Let them know, like, hey.
It's like they're like, "Oh shit, that's out. Oh cool, I'll go check it out, and then I'll watch this review."
Yeah.
So don't think this is gonna deter a lot of people, because I bet you it doesn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, why am I trying so hard to
know.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry. All right.
All right, I'm done.
Bye.